an honor for me to speak to you here in recognition of Memorial Day, and also an honor to be standing here among the sons and daughters of Orange County, so many of whom served in the armed forces. I wanted to make an observation here at this cemetery and the Potomac River. You will see Arlington Cemetery, and in Arlington Cemetery are 250,000 Americans who gave their lives starting in the Revolutionary War and down through every conflict in order to preserve peace, liberty, freedom in this republic. And if you think for a moment about the cemeteries beyond the United States that fan out across our country and then over to Europe, to France, to the bluffs above Normandy, and there and beyond, why Americans who gave that final sacrifice, their deeds were the backbone that helped secure this nation's liberty. Today we honor them. We honor them all as heroes. And I think we all recognize that no nation has been more blessed than our nation. And Memorial Day is the day we set aside to remember the guardians of those blessings. Many of you, I think, thinking back over those sacrifices, realize just how unique this society is. Unlike any in the world, it was based upon an ideal. 60 years ago, the world learned just what Americans were capable of doing when coming together in common cause during World War II. And in that test, we lost over 400,000 Americans. At D-Day alone, we lost 5,200 killed and wounded on the shores of Normandy. But the battle that was fought there was not just between two armies. It was, in fact, a conflict, a battle between two ways of life. Freeborn people won that battle, but if you want a glimpse of what the world would have looked like had we not persevered in that conflict, my father had his brother's camera with him when they went into Dachau, the death camp, and took pictures of what a totalitarian society is capable of. It has always been a test for those who represented the concepts of freedom and democracy. They have always been put to the test by totalitarian forces. If we think back to democracy in Athens, the historian Herodotus tells about 1 million soldiers coming from Persia under the whips of the autocratic Persian leader, and how freeborn men were able to persevere and defeat that tyranny. And we think through the centuries of those societies that have represented Western civilization. We think of the decisive battle which young people in Europe learn about at Tours, when Charles Martel stopped the Islamist invasion in the 8th century and destroyed the army of Abdul Rahman in France. We think about what happened at the gates of Vienna when, again, radical ideology was on the march, and the Ottoman Turks were stopped right outside of the gates centuries later. Just as these soldiers in times past defended Western civilization, defended their homelands against tyranny, so are our brave men and women on the armed forces doing that today. 4 weeks ago, I had an opportunity to travel to Afghanistan and to Pakistan, and there I met with General McChrystal and with our brave men and women in uniform in Kandahar and up in Kabul, and also traveled over to Islamabad, Pakistan, and up to the northwest frontier. I can tell you that there on the Pakistan side of that border, the Pakistani army have taken 8,000 casualties. I've been back to Pakistan every year for the last 3 years. This year they lost 8,000 Pakistani troops killing 50,000 jihadists up there in the northwest frontier area. On the other side of that frontier, not the Pakistan Taliban, but the Afghan Taliban operates against our forces. We're trying to train and prepare the Afghan army to secure and prevent the reestablishment of training camps like the ones that were used before 9/11 in the attack on our homeland. This is a very, very difficult fight for these brave men and women. They're doing it under very difficult circumstances, and they are doing it for the same reasons that throughout our country's history, those of you and your forefathers served, and that is to protect this nation, protect our way of life.